So we're going to create a form, and then we're going to customize the design of the form a little bit. And so in our table group, we're going to select clients. I'm going to go to create. And then we're going to go ahead and click on the form button to automatically generate this form. And then what they would like us to do is select sales ID that's in this little data sheet that's displaying below our form. And when you see a form with the data sheet below, it indicates that we have related tables. So we had said that we wanted clients, but we ended up getting this additional data sheet because the client table is related to another table. So we're going to click on the sales ID field. And then they would actually like us to remove this. So when I click on this field, you'll notice that we've got this little move handle, and that would actually allow us to conceivably move this whole table if we wanted to. What we're going to do is click on that, and that selects everything. And we're going to press the delete key because we don't want this showing. We just want the client form by itself. Okay, so we can get rid of that related table if we do not want it in the form. And what we're going to do next is insert a logo image in the form header. Now, this little part at the top where we have the name of the form, that is the form header. And this little form graphic is in here by default. And this is what they want us to right-click on. And then they want us to simply delete it. Now, you could also just left-click on it and press delete. Does the same thing as right-clicking and deleting. They just like you to use all of the different ways possible to delete. What we're going to do next is we're going to insert our own little logo. So up here in the design ribbon for forms, we're going to click on logo. And we do need to navigate to the location of the picture that we want to insert as our logo. And this happens to be in the AL1, Access Level 1, Chapter 5 folder. So you are going to have to navigate to that folder, and you're going to open it up. And there should be a file called Dearborn Logo, and that is what we are going to insert. So I'm going to select it and click OK. And you'll notice that it is sized appropriately when it puts it in. Next step is going to be to customize the title a little bit. So I'm going to click on the title, and then I'm going to hit the title button here in the design ribbon because that lets me edit this title. And then I'm just going to click, oh, let me do it again. Got to be careful that you don't click out of this, because if I click out of this, to get back in, I have to hit title again. It's kind of finicky. So what I'm going to do is change this to Dearborn Clients Form. And I'm going to press enter. Now they would also like the date in this form header. So there is a date and time button right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And they want us just to go with the default. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And you'll notice that it's inserted over here on the right-hand side. Now, that makes for a rather wide form. So what we're going to do is kind of click on this entry area for the title. And I'm going to resize this. Maybe hard to see, but I was over on the far right, and I'm just over the border here, and I'm going to left drag. And they just want it all the way over here. Then they want us to move our time and our date. Now I'm going to press Shift and click so I can get both. So I've clicked the first, Shift and click the second. And then I can kind of move them both over here at the same time. And then I don't have to worry about an alignment quite as much. They would also like me to resize these, so with them still selected. Just going to kind of left drag in so that the control box is just big enough to display what's inside. Okay, so we've used a couple different mouse commands. When you see a four-headed arrow, that allows you to move by left dragging. Four-headed arrow is a universal move sign. Okay, the double-headed arrow is the symbol for resizing. It's kind of a universal resize. And both moving and resizing involve left dragging. Now they would also like us to resize our text box controls where our data displays. So we're going to click where client number is, and we're going to position over the right side. And they actually want this to be a specific width. And where the width is going to show is in this lower left corner of the status bar. So as I'm dragging, if you look at that lower left corner, what they want is 1 line and 30 characters. Now what I've noticed with this is when you release the button, sometimes the number adjusts. So I'm just going to click on it. Should be 1 line, 30 characters. Next thing they would like is a label control. And these are all considered labels. And so what I'm going to do is kind of click away, and I'm going to insert a new label. And if you point and pause, you can see what these different controls are called. And this is the one we want, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And they want this to go to the right of telephone. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here. And then we're just going to give them a little direction. And obviously, this is not ideal, having it wrap and go down. We would prefer to have that across. So we're going to adjust the size a little bit. And we're going to use the property sheet to do that. So right now, because we are in a label, it is showing us the properties of that particular label. And so for the width of this label that we are in, we're going to change it from 1 to 2. And we certainly don't need it that high. So for the height, we are going to change it from 1.1 to 0.4. Okay, and now the box looks a little bit more user-friendly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close. Now, just in case you're wondering, there are properties for every single object that you see in a form. I mean, if we click on the date, there's properties for the date. If we click on the title, there's separate properties for the title. Okay, so everything has properties. And right now, we will be looking at this sheet quite a bit more in the future, but for right now, we are going to close it. And then our next little task is to delete the control object containing the time. And so they want the date, but not the time. So we're going to click on that and press the delete key. Now, personally, I think this should be moved down. Although they don't say to do that, I would move it down and make it more level with the title. And we are going to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to use the quick access toolbar. And we are going to leave the name clients. So all we're going to do is click OK.